Hey. I don't know if you guys can hear me. Let me make sure. No, you're good. I'm not sure if y'all can hear me. I was having some issues. I was having some issues with the audio. So let me ensure that you can hear me and that you can see me. Let's see. Okay, so good. So, yeah, you can play. It needs to be charged. You gotta wait. All right. So good evening. It is the summertime. So, I have my I have management with me, but I wanted to come on because it's been a minute since I have been on and I've been coming on probably in the past year off and on. But in the past, I would say 6 months, this whole first year part of the year has been a real defining year for me. It's been a very challenging year because there's always a stretch. And so, if you followed me for any period of time, you know that as I'm growing as an entrepreneur, as a mom, as a caregiver, I always come in and I share. Like, I don't mind. And a lot of times I won't share while I'm in the middle of it because, baby, but on the way out, or as I'm progressing, or as I am reaching new levels and going from glory to glory, as I've stated before, I try to come in and share with you guys. And so, if we have not met before, my name is Keandra. I am the founder of the KWI Collective. We're a marketing, public relations, and media firm. I am also a public speaker, and I'm a child of God, and I'm just me. Um, I'm I have learned to truly love life and the people in my life. And over the past 3 years, I've had several passings of people, and just recently, another hard loss in my life. And every time I've gone through this passing, it always has me reevaluate where we are in life. I think sometimes in life we feel like we have enough time. I think in we feel like I can do it tomorrow, especially when it's what you're called to do, what you're supposed to be doing. I can within myself say that I've gotten real lackadaisical, and tired. But a lot of that has been because I've been working since I was 14 years old. I am 45. Your girl tired. Okay. I'm like, I don't want to work so hard no more. And then I get to a space where it's certain things I just don't want to do anymore. And then here we go, life has life in it. And now I am an empty nester, and life just looks different for me than it has. A lot of my life has been geared and centered around my family and taking care of my home. I still am my mom's full-time caregiver. I have management here with me sometimes, and I still, my kids still call me and all of that, but it's different. And so as life begins to shift us and change for us, I want us to begin to really start taking inventory. The first thing and I'm going to tell you guys what I've been doing. So the first thing I had to do was ask myself, am I really happy with my life? Like, I love my job. I'm doing very well. I have some great friends. Um, People always ask me, "Are you dating?" Yes, I be dating. Not as much as people would think, because my mm, I said my tolerance for stuff is, I'm trying to get better as it relates to just being a little bit more tolerant, but some things you just can't tolerate. So, um, and then me sitting down looking at um, what are my likes and dislikes now? because understand, as a parent and full-time caregiver, my life was focused around my family. So now I'm in the season of what is it that I really like? Like, what do I really want to do? I'm in the season of in my business. There are things that I do very well, and there are things that make me a lot of money, but do I want to do those things anymore? So really taking a full inventory of that, even taking, thank you, baby, even taking a full inventory of my friendships and the people in my life. Like, is this a beneficial relationship? A lot of times when you are multifaceted and you have a lot of skill sets, people see the skill set in you versus the person in you. And so when people reach out to me and they want to connect, I look at that. I'm like, do they care? Are they showing any care about me or what they think that I could do for them? Because I care about people. Like, I don't put my hands on and touch anything, especially if it's a collaborative effort with if I can't I don't feel like I care for the people around it versus what we're doing as well. You know what I'm saying? And that's just me. And so I look at those things. And so I've become very particular in where I stretch myself and where I present myself or where I place myself. And I was looking at some conversations. I know people saw my post, and thank you guys for all of the messages and love and concern in regards to my friend. And I was just going back and looking through a lot of our messages. And one of the conversations we had was taking inventory of our lives. Like, where are we in this space and time? And what do we really want to be doing? And who do we really want to be doing it with? And are we really happy with our lives? Now, the crazy thing about this life and the lives that we have is that people pretend to be happy. People, they're on social media, or you see them out, or on the outside, they have a great job, they have a beautiful home, nice car, they got friends, and it looks like they are happy. It looks like it's a great life for them. But for me, I got to a space where I had all of that, and I was just like, I am not happy. Like, something is missing. And it wasn't, one of my friends was like, oh, you need a man. I was like, yeah, no, that's not that. I had to look at what it was, and it was inside of me. I had to look at, who is Keandra now? There's the loss of my grandmother, the loss of Shay, who is my daughter's oldest brother. He's like my son. So when I say my son, that's what I mean. The loss of my friend. There's been a lot of loss, and it made me just kind of look at life a little bit differently, right? On the flip side of that, instead of now in this season, instead of mourning, I am going back, and I have a new notebook that one of my clients, Jennifer Bro, got me. And I'm going back and I'm taking inventory of each person in my life of value, and what values, what did they instill in me? What did they leave me with? Whether they are alive or have passed on. And now I'm looking at those things. What are the amazing things that people have instilled in me and seen in me, and am I operating in my fullest potential? Is where I am the full potential of where God would have me? Who am I surrounding myself with? What are things? Because let me tell y'all something. When you go through grief and you go through life, and you get into these seasons, and I ain't gonna tell you, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, in the last week, and so almost two, I was just like, you know what? You only live once. It is what it is. I was getting into that space, and it's like, yeah, no. You know what I'm saying? That's not it. And I love that God has placed some amazing men and women in my life who I don't have to say anything to. They can sense it in the spirit, and they'll call me and be like, yo, I was praying for you, and yo, this. Or I have a lot of male friends, and people are always like, how do you have male friends? Men and women can't be friends. Whole nother story. We're not going to get on that. Yes, you can, if you have self-control, because I don't even understand, just because they have one organ and you have another organ don't mean those organs need to touch. Like, it's crazy. And God did not just put men and women on the earth for nothing. Like, he would have put all women on the earth, or all men, if they can't connect. Like, it's crazy. Man had a thought process. But anywho, we'll not go off on this tangent. Hey, Elijah, that's one of my babes. That's one of my friends. So, when you look at life and you look at these things and the people that are in it, like, when do we start believing what people see in us? What do we need to do to start believing? Because these people are not just seeing it and saying it just because they like, hey, I like you or whatever. You're a nice person and you're great. These people have been around you. They see things in you and they're able to pull their, God has placed them on the earth to pull the value of that maybe you don't see out of you and to be able to share that with you. And so in this past season of my life, I've gotten to a place of very, very complacent. I'm not gonna even lie. I was like, I'm complacent, I'm tired, I'm traveling, I don't want to do all that. These are the things I want to do, and I'm good. And every time I have a conversation with somebody, they're always pushing me in a way by saying something. And it always makes me take inventory. So I'm going to tell you guys a little story. So I was um, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we're just randomly talking. And I was like, "Yeah, I started to work on this project, and bang, that thing blew up. And I started to, I was doing this, and I gave this person this tip, and they out there doing it, and I'm so excited for them." And the one thing he said is, he said, "You're the type of woman that multiplies everything that you touch." Right? And so it made me take pause. And I said, I'm the type of woman that multiplies everything that I touch. Right? Then I saw a clip of this lady. I had never seen her before. It was, I guess, it was maybe a singles conference, and she was talking, and she said that same thing. So I had asked him, I was like, "Did you get that from there?" He was like, "No, I had not heard it. I hadn't seen it." And it made me think of, how do I feel like I multiply everything that I touch if somebody else sees that in me? So it made me take inventory of my life in a different way. And so that's what I want you guys to do. I want you to really take inventory of your entire life, and I want you um to look at it. So as you know, and most people know that um in business, for work, I have a marketing, public relations, and media firm. And what I found is that visibility is always the thing that people say they need, but visibility is not always what they're ready for. Once you get in there and you look at it. And so one of my missions has really been to make sure that brands are visible, but that they're truly ready for the visibility. How many people have watched Shark Tank, and someone has went on Shark Tank and they blew up, and then now it is 2 years later and you can't find their business online because they crashed, or because they weren't able to handle the supply and demand, and that's simply because their brand was not ready for it. So I started a complimentary group called the Backstage Pass group here on Facebook, and it's a marketing, public relations, and media group, and that's what we do in there. We're about to rev up a little bit more, but really talking about marketing, public relations, media visibility, and is your brand ready for it? And what level of it is it ready for? A lot of times there are people who don't want to have a huge brand. They like the smaller entities. Is your brand ready for the influx that you desire? And so taking inventory for me means not only taking inventory of my life, but taking inventory of my business. I have been a business owner in this space since 2012, and I've always had to mature, pivot, and grow. And I had to look at, I am my brand, right? So as my life is pivoting, the business has to pivot a little bit too, simply because it's just some stuff I just am not going to do anymore, or I don't want to do anymore. And so a lot of times we don't like that change. We don't like to change. We don't like to pivot in business. So I had to kind of get quiet. Um, I was trying to rev it up in January, and then February hit, and I was like, yeah, no, I need to, I got to chill, because I really need to seek God, identify where I'm supposed to be and what I'm supposed to be doing, and move accordingly. And in the interim of all of that, trust me, I have not made all of the best decisions. I have shut down probably longer than I was supposed to at times. Um, and I have, but on the flip side of it, clients are doing well, business is growing, you know what I'm saying? So it's the whole thing of, when I say what happens is, you have to understand who you are in life so that you can successfully operate in business. that is true, because they're not separate or void of each other. If you are not prepared in life, if your life is at a space where you're shutting down and you're doing all these things and you're not showing up in life, you're not going to really show up effectively in business. It's not going to change because you logged into Facebook. It's not going to change because you walked into your office, because it's very internal when you're building brands. And I want people to realize and set themselves up for success. I was asking a question, I was talking to a group today, and I literally said, have you prepared yourself for life? Have you prepared your business for life? um, we had a passing in the Tampa Bay area. That's a huge loss for our area on Friday. And I was like, yeah, I can't do this. I gotta chill. And so my assistants were able to continue to function, in the business realm, so that you couldn't tell that the business side of it was shut, that I was not 100% there. You know what I'm saying? The business was still running, things were still happening. And so I realized when my grandmother passed away, that I had to put something in place for things like this for life for me, because I take relationships very seriously. Like if you know me, like I don't just hang around everybody. I don't, and not that it's a problem. I just don't. When I get into relationship with people, I'm very serious about building successful relationships. And so I take my time and I put my all into that. And so when something like this happens, it takes a toll, just like with everybody else, it takes a toll on me. And I have to kind of, reevaluate my emotional state when you're dealing. So I had to now put barriers around things of life for my business so that it can still run while I have this time that I need to figure out what's next. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times, so you want to pay 50 for no, let me say, you want to pay $1,500 to have an event for pictures that have people not even showing up at, to say that you did it, versus taking that $1,500 and investing it into an assistant or somebody in the back end to really make sure that your business is straight. Like, we need to reevaluate where we're placing our funds and what our core what the core result is. Do you want to be seen, or do you want to grow? Like, are you doing this to be seen, or are you doing this because you want to grow a business to be successful, and you want to be able to enhance the lives of the people that you're called to serve? And you got to look at that. Visibility can be a great word and a great thing, but also it can be the detriment to your business if your business is not financially ready for the type of visibility you're out here paying for, and if the structure of your back end of your business is not successfully ready for the influx. And so we have to look at that. So as we take inventory of every area of our life, I want you to really take inventory of every area of your business. I also want you to take inventory of your state and your relationships, because they matter. And I know that over the last, I would say, year, I've really taken a true inventory of my business relationships, personal relationships. I kind of have restarted looking at it since Friday. Since this last loss, it kind of made me shift again and kind of look and start. All right, who's in my space that is not adding value in just by being who they are. Not that they have to do something to me, or give something to me, or you know what I'm saying? But are they just adding value as a friend, as a person in my life? And or am I might be the culprit. You know what I'm saying? So am I the friend that they need in their life? Am I being that person for them? And that does not mean we got to talk every day. That does not mean people got to do something for you all the time. Does that mean you have to be a yes man or anything like that? It just means that, do you bring value to the relationship based off of the structure that you've developed? And then that goes for life and in business. Do you bring value to the space that you're called to occupy, whether it's in somebody's life or whether it's in business? And so I want you guys to really just take an inventory of that. And I want you to honor your friendships. I want you to love on the people that are in your life, and I want you to support as best as you can, and just honor the space and time that God has you together, and don't take it for granted. All right, guys. I'll be back on Tuesday nights at 9. Sometimes I'll be talking life, sometimes I'll be talking business. We'll see. But I want you guys to love yourselves, love life, and always remember that you set the tone for your day, year, and life. And always remember to make it a great one. Have a great night, guys.